Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Okay. Today we'll see the document retrieval. I think nobody is giving the response, so I don't know why. What happened? But still, today also the attendance is very poor. Shall I start or not? 28 students. I don't know what is the purpose. We have started these sessions. I don't know what is the purpose. Am I audible? Am I audible? ఏ బాక్స్ డబ్బులు ఇస్తారా? కొన్నాళ్ళు. Okay. May I know the reason why less attendance today? I think some of your friends which they already started along with you have stopped, right? Am I correct? I don't hope all your friends are attending this session. I didn't hope that. Am I correct? Please give me the reply in the chat window. Why? May I know the reason? Because they are available in YouTube. Is that the reason? If I ask Giri sir to stop the sharing of video, what happens? If I say, sir, stop sharing the videos in YouTube, then what happens? So they don't need a live session, right? They don't need live session. They want recorded session. For that, no need to. So for that, no need to do live sessions, right? Actually, if I create my own video and I can deploy in the YouTube, then that will be enough. No need to conducting the live sessions, right? Okay, let us see. Okay, today we are going to start document retrieval. Actually, document retrieval means rather than I can say it is a similar document retrieval. Okay, similar document retrieval. What do you mean by similar document retrieval? For example, we have a large corpus document collection. From that, I want to retrieve some relevant documents. Okay, for example, I'm an IT student and I want to retrieve only IT related articles or IT related books. Okay, from the large collection of library which consists of so many. So many books means all the those books may belongs to some other branches, right? For example, if you consider your college library, it may contain so many books, right? So many books of various disciplines. But I want to retrieve only IT related books as I belongs to IT. So for that, what you have to do is we have to retrieve the relevant documents. Okay, how to do that? Okay, how to do that? First of all, our aim is to retrieve the documents of interest. Okay, as an IT student, I study only IT books, IT related books or programming related books or data related books, AI related books like that. Okay. So this is what, for example, I'm an IT student, and this is the I want to study machine learning related books. For example, let us suppose I am currently reading an article that belongs to football or soccer. Okay. Later, my goal is to want to find the similar article. Okay. That means what is the article just I'm reading now, the information in that article doesn't satisfy my need. So what I have to do, I have to find all similar articles, right? All similar. That means whatever the information that I have gathered from the currently reading article, I'm not satisfied with that information. So what I supposed to do? So I have to find the similar articles. I have to find the similar articles in order to improve the information size. Okay. So if you do like that, what are the different challenges that you are going to face? Okay. The first thing is how do we are going to measure the similarity? That is the first thing. Okay. We'll discuss how do we going to measure the similarity between two articles. Okay. If the similarity is satisfably giving more score, then I can say that those two documents are similar. Okay. So now our aim is to how to measure that kind of similarities. And if you and how you can perform the similarity scenario over the large number of articles. Okay, that means identifying the similar documents is nothing but searching only, right? Searching the similar documents. Okay, searching the saucer or football related articles from the Wikipedia means what? Wikipedia contains so many articles that doesn't belongs to a particular area, right? It may contain so many articles, but my aim is to search only the article what you are currently seeing on the screen, that article or similar article. Okay. So for that, what we have to do is first we have to go for a word count representation. That is the first thing that we have to perform. If you want to perform measuring the similarity, the first fundamental thing that you have to know word count representation. This word count representation follows the bag of words model. I think some of the third years already heard about this. Bag of words means generally it is a one concept that will comes under information retrieval. Okay. Bag of words model. So what is the bag of words model? For example, if you take any article, it contains so many words and I want to consider all those words. Okay. By considering all those words, I don't want to consider their order. For example, if I consider, if I identify some key words, okay, I will identify some keywords and I'll collect all those words and I'll put it in a cup and I will I will shuffle that cup. So what happens? There will be so many orders that are going to be obtained. Okay, with the different orders, you can obtain different types of articles. Okay, but if you are obtaining different types of articles, okay, for example, I have n words. So how many articles you can obtain? N factorial out, n factorial. That means, n into so on up to n. That means what? N to the power of n number of articles. I'm talking about the arrangements of different words. Okay, by changing the arrangement of different words, you may get a new article, right? But all those words belongs to the bag of words. All those words belongs to that corpus only. With that words, you are going to obtain different types of documents. Okay. After that, what I'll do is I'll count the number of instances of each word in the vocabulary. That means if I get an article, in that article, I will calculate the frequency of each and every word in that article. Okay. And then Let us understand this with the help of an example. For example, let us understand this bag of words model using one example. Okay, then you can identify. For example, this is the article what I want to see, and this article contains this text. For example, Ajay calls the sport football and Vijay calls the sport as soccer. Okay, both Ajay and Vijay intentions are same. Here Ajay calls the sport as the football and Vijay calls the sport as a soccer. So for this text, how I can identify the bag of words model? Okay, so for that, what I have to do is I have to construct a word count vector for the document. Assume that your document contains only this single line. Okay, your document contains only this single line. I am going to construct the count vector for only that document only. Okay, so this is the word document vector. Here you can say Ajay is repeated once, calls repeated twice, the word repeated twice, sport repeated twice, football repeated once. But in middle you can see some another words like tree, cat, dog. Here I can say that this tree, cat, dog are in the vocabulary, in the bag of words, but if you consider only this document, the presence of this dog, cat, tree are zero. They are not in this document, but they belongs to the vocabulary. They belongs to the vocabulary of the corpus, or they belongs to the bag of words. But these words may not. There is no guarantee. There is no such rule that these words must exist in your text. For example, if you take this text contains only these words. That's it. Okay. These words means Ajay contains once, the word repeated twice, tree 0 times, and calls has repeated twice, sport repeated twice, football once, saucer once, and Vijay once. The remaining all are 0. The remaining all are 0. Why? Because this vocabulary is common for all the text documents in that corpus. Are you following in it? We have to construct a word count vector by keeping the vocabulary in our mind. So each and every text document will have the different word count vector. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, you understand? Bag of words model. Bag of words model. Let me repeat again. Bag of words model means it contains some words. Okay, with various combination of that words, you can obtain different types of documents. But there is no guarantee that all the documents will contain all the words in that vocabulary. Okay, for that what we'll do is we'll construct a word count vector showing that the existence of the words in a particular given text or a document. Okay. So now how to measure the similarity, for example. As you have successfully constructed the word count vector like this, after that what is your job is to find the similar article with the text what you have dealing with. Now what you have to do is, now we have to measure the similarity using the elementary product. Okay, elementary product means, for example, I have 2 documents here. Okay, for example, if you observe here, we have green document and we have blue document here. Both are about football only. And this green count vector, if you consider, and blue count vector is if you consider, and if you perform the word count measure, elementary product, then you'll get 13. Elementary product in the sense what you have to do is 1 into 3, 0 into 0, 0 into 0, 0 into 0, 5 into 2, 3 into 0, like that you have to do the corresponding element product. Okay. So if I perform the operation like that, what we'll do is, here I am getting the score as 13. So here I am getting non-zero value. Okay, here I am getting the non-zero value. Here you have to understand that these 2 documents are somewhat similar. These 2 documents are somewhat similar. Similar in the sense both are saying about the same topic, that is football or soccer. For example, if you consider 2 different documents, for example, here I am considering this green document as the football document and the red document as the social revolutionary in Africa. Okay, the social revolutionary in Africa, and this is the red documents. And now I want to perform the similarity between these two documents. Then I'll get score as 0. So I can say that these 2 documents are not at all relevant to each other. or not at all similar to each other. Why? Because I'm getting 0 here. You understand? Yes? You understand? Like that, you have to measure the similarity. Okay. So if I perform like this, okay, if I perform in order to retrieve the relevant documents, okay, if you observe here, if you want to perform this elementary product, the count vector length should be same for all the documents. That is very important. Whenever you want to perform elementary product between any two documents in the corpus, each document's count vector length must be same. Here, how many elements we have in the green document? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 3, 6 plus 3, 9 plus 4, 13. The length of the count vector of green document is 13. If you want to perform the elementary product, all the documents should have the same length of word count vector. Okay, this is 13, this is 13, this is 13. Then you have to perform the elementary wise product. Then you can easily identify the similarity between two documents. But now the question is, okay, when you are doing this word count vector similarity process, then what happens is we have one issue. That is what if I take the large documents, for example, large set of documents. Large set of document means if the same words what we have in this scenario has been repeated twice. Okay, here it is in the green document, that particular word is repeated once, but in this it is repeated 2. Instead of 5, it has 10. Instead of 3, it has 6. And here instead of 1, it has 2. Okay, so if you consider a very large set of articles or long articles in the corpus, okay, long article in the sense every word has been repeated twice, thrice, like that, then you will get the similarity like this, 52. Then what I have to do? I can consider this as similarity constraint or this as the similarity constraint. Why? Because both are non-zero values. Here, how can I know that which two documents I have to consider them as a similar? Why? Because both are non-zero values here. In that case, what I have to do is I have to perform normalization here. Okay, even though it is a long document or a short document, okay, before you perform elementary wise count vector multiplication, what you have to do is after constructing the word count vector, you are supposed to perform the normalization like this. If you take the green document, in this example, what are the elements we have? 1 0 0 5 3 0 0 1 0 0 0 0. If you take that document, how the normalization has been done for it? Okay, like that the normalization should be done, and then you have to perform the word count elementary product. Then you have to perform elementary product. Okay, this is what we'll call it as the normalized word count vector. This is what that means. Rather than taking the word count vector directly, what I want to do is I will take the normalized word count vector in order to perform the elementary product. Then I will get the accurate results. Then there is no need of larger, then there is no problem with the long articles. Okay. Now let us see about the word count, issue with the word count. Okay. This is very important. Please listen carefully. For example, if I have a common word, that means if you take any document, okay, that document may belongs to any particular area or any particular group or something like that. It contains some words, some common words like the, player, field, goal, like that. But that same document contains some rare words like football, Messi, etc. But here, when you compare these common words and dominant rare words, we have to identify which words are best describing the document. Sometimes what happens is these common words, with a large number of these common words may dominate the words which will best describe the document. At that place also we will face some difficulties. Okay, why? Because when I say that these two books are belongs to the same group, or these two books belongs to same branch, for example. Okay, book 1 and book 2 belongs to what? belongs to, for example, electrical engineering. Okay, how can I say that these two books are belongs to the electrical engineering? Means electrical people will follow some terminology, right? Those terms must be existed in these two books, but the terms means those are not the general words like the, and, above, because, so, that kind of the not that kind of words. Why? Because electrical engineering will follow some terminologies like capacitor, resistor, okay, transformer, inductor, like that. Okay, based on those words only, we have to think it is an electrical book. Okay, and this is an electrical book, and if you perform the elementary product, then it will give all the similar electrical books. But you cannot find resistor, capacitor, inductor as the more number as the general words. Why? Because here the common words will dominate your the words, the technical words which will best describes your document. Okay, so what characterizes a rare word? So generally appears infrequently in the corpus. Am I right? If you take any book, the rare words, the number of rare words are very less when compared to the common words. Common words అంటే ఏ, ద, అబౌవ్ ఇలాంటి వర్డ్స్ అన్ని ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి ఏ డాక్యుమెంట్లో. కాబట్టి మీరు చెక్ చేసుకోండి. కానీ అది ఏ ఏరియాకి సంబంధించిన బుక్, ఆ ఏరియాకి సంబంధించిన టర్మ్స్ మాత్రం తక్కువగానే ఉంటాయి కదా. కానీ మనకు అవే కావాలి ఇప్పుడు. We want those words, those rare words only in order to measure the similarity between the documents. Okay, and here for that what we have to do is we have to emphasize those words which are appearing very few in the documents. Okay, we have to emphasize those words which are appearing very few in the documents. Okay, and equivalently discount word W based on number of docs contained that W in corpus. Okay, so we have to concentrate and we have to emphasize those rare words, and also we have to identify the percentage of those words in the documents, and we have to identify how many number of documents will contain that W will contain those words in the corpus. Okay, what we have to do, we have to first identify the rare words, and we have to identify the what is the weightage of the rare words, and what we have to identify is we have to identify how many documents that contains these rare words. Okay, all these things we have to identify. Okay, let us see some examples here. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to identify the rare words, and we generally want these rare words to dominate the document such that we can easily perform the word similarity between those documents. Okay, so what we want to do is actually we want to highlight the words that best describe that particular article, and these words may not be dominant. Okay, that means these words may not be common words. Common words doesn't best describes your document. Okay, even though they contains more, but those words doesn't describes best your document. Generally the rare words only will best describe the document. Okay, so how to identify that how to increase the dominance of those rare words? First of all, we have to identify how to characterize an importance of the word. Okay, so how to identify the importance of the word means we have to understand two terms, that is common locally and rare globally. Okay, common locally means which occurs frequently in a particular document. Okay, which occurs the words, okay, the words which appears frequently in the given document, that is what we'll call it as a common locally. And the words which appears rarely in the entire corpus. అంటే నా ఉద్దేశం ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ కొన్ని వర్డ్స్ ఒక డాక్యుమెంట్ లో ఎక్కువ ఉన్నంత మాత్రాన మొత్తం కార్పస్ అంతా అవి ఎక్కువగా ఉండాలని రూల్ ఏం లేదు. ఓకే, ఏదైనా ఒక బుక్ లో ఎక్కువగా ఉండొచ్చు, కానీ మీరు కార్పస్ మొత్తం తీసుకుంటే కనుక ఆ వర్డ్స్ డామినేటెడ్ గా ఉండకపోవచ్చు, అంటే ఎక్కువ వర్డ్స్ ఉండకపోవచ్చు. Okay, that is why if that document contains that word more frequently, then it is called as a common locally, and which appears rarely in the corpus, then that we will call it as a rare globally. ఇక్కడ మనం కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేసేది రేర్ గ్లోబల్లీ మీదే. హౌ? లెట్ us see. Okay, we will perform some trade-off between the local frequency and the global rarity. That is what TF-IDF representation. Let me explain about this. TF-IDF means term frequency and inverse document frequency. Okay, so generally this is the method generally used to perform the trade-off between common locally and rare globally. What do you mean by trade-off? Okay, that means identifying the, that means considering a particular document with reference to the whole corpus. Okay, okay, identifying the words which will be exist in a particular document. Okay, at the same word how it is existing as the in the whole corpus. This study is going to be done by this TF-IDF weighting. అంటే నేను ఏం చెప్తున్నానంటే ఒక వర్డ్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో ఉందని అనుకుందాం. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ TF-IDF ఏం చెప్తుందంటే ఒక వర్డ్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో ఉన్న వెయిట్, అలాగే ఓవరాల్గా కార్పస్లో దాని యొక్క వెయిట్ రెండింటిని మనం తీసుకోవాలి. Okay, weightage with reference to a particular document as well as weightage with reference to the whole corpus. We have to consider these two and then you have to perform this TF-IDF weighting. Okay, so this is how. Okay, so for example here if you take one article, okay, one article, I will consider all the words, I will consider all the words and I will construct a word count vector which I will call it as a term frequency. This vector is constructed with reference to a particular document. Make it clear. Okay, the term frequency vector is constructed. The term frequency is constructed with the help of or with respect to a particular document. Let me clear about it. Okay, then what do you mean by inverse document frequency? The existence of the words what we have in this vector. Listen carefully. The existence of the words which we have in the term frequency vector in the whole corpus, in the whole corpus, and this inverse document frequency, what it will do is, this is the formula for log that word contains in how many total number of documents. Okay, logarithm of the total number of documents in the corpus divided by 1 plus the number of documents that is using that word. Am I clear? Any doubts here? Please ask. Why? Because your program is dependent on this scenario only. The program what we written now, yeah, is the base vocabulary is same for all the documents. Okay, here the term frequency vector is also constructed by considering the different types of words in the corpus. But here this term frequency vector will take care about only the words in this in this particular text document. This term frequency is calculated for every document. The term frequency is calculated for every document. After that, how this inverse document frequency is calculated means, after constructing the term frequency vector by taking each and every word in the term frequency vector, the corresponding inverse document frequency is calculated. Okay, I'll show you in the example, then you will get a clear idea. Okay, yeah, so this is the term frequency and inverse document frequency. For example, why I am considering this inverse document frequency means, if I calculate log large by 1 plus large, it always converges to the log 1 is equal to 0. Log 1, then the value will be 0. Irrespective of any base, the log 1 leads to 0. That is what this will be generally repeated for the word in many documents. Here I can say that the common words. You already know the common words like the, a, and, because that kind of English words will be repeated in maximum of the documents. Am I right? In maximum of the documents, all the general English words will be presented. That then what happens is, the number of documents using that word will have the large in the number. Am I right? Am I correct on that? అంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ అంటే జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా అన్ని డాక్యుమెంట్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తాయి. అందువల్ల ఇక్కడ డినామినేటర్ ఖచ్చితంగా లార్జ్కి లీడ్ అవుతుంది. అంటే ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని వర్డ్స్, ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఆ జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ని కలిగి ఉంటాయి. అందువల్ల మీరు ఇది పెర్ఫామ్ చేశారనుకోండి, వాట్ ఇట్ విల్ డూ ఇస్ ఇట్ విల్ కన్వర్జెస్ టు 1 such that the value becomes 0. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, you are reducing the weight of the general occurrence of the words. Am I right? అంటే జనరల్ వర్డ్స్ యొక్క వెయిటేజ్ ని తగ్గిస్తున్నారు. దేని యూజ్ చేసి, ఐడిఎఫ్ యూజ్ చేసి తగ్గిస్తున్నారు. ఇన్వర్స్ డాక్యుమెంట్, యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఇన్వర్స్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ అండ్ యు ఆర్ రెడ్యూసింగ్ ద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్. Are you following or not? Yes? Are you following or not? You are reducing the impact of general English words using this inverse document frequency. Why? Because here the formula is what? Log number of documents by 1 plus number of documents that is using the word. For example, నేను ద అని తీసుకున్నాను అనుకోండి. Let us see in the next example. ఒకవేళ రేర్ వర్డ్స్ అయితే ఖచ్చితంగా న్యూమరేటర్ తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. న్యూమరేటర్ తక్కువగా ఉంటే మీకు లాగ్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ లార్జ్ వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. లార్జ్ వాల్యూ అంటే మీకు సమ్ వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. ఐడిఎఫ్ అనే ఒక వాల్యూ, ఐడిఎఫ్ విల్ గివ్ యూ సమ్ వాల్యూ టు దట్ పర్టికులర్ వర్డ్. లెట్ us అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ యూజింగ్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హియర్. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐ విల్ కంపేర్ ద అండ్ మెస్సీ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఓకే, నేను ద అండ్ మెస్సీ అనే 2 words ని కంపేర్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే ద అనేది జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్, మెస్సీ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ అ కీవర్డ్ దట్ బెస్ట్ డిస్క్రైబ్స్ ఎ ఫుట్బాల్ ఆర్టికల్ ఆర్ సాసర్ ఆర్టికల్. మెస్సీ అంటే ఈజ్ అ వెరీ గుడ్ ఫుట్బాల్ ప్లేయర్ ఆర్ సాసర్ ప్లేయర్. ఓకే, సో మెస్సీ అనే వర్డ్ ఉంది అంటే అదొక ఫుట్బాల్ లేదా సాసర్కి సంబంధించిన ఆర్టికల్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నానంటే ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై the weightages, TF-IDF weightages for the general English words and also for the rare words. Okay, for example, here the general English word that I have taken here is the, and rare word I have taken is messy. I will take a particular document, listen carefully, I am taking a particular document and calculating the frequency of the in that document. Okay, for example, the is repeated 1000 times in that document and messy repeated only 5 times in the document, for example. Okay, now for those corresponding words what I have identified, the corresponding IDFs are calculated. IDF means, for example, here if I take the, I'll take the ikkada second word the kada, the ki nenu IDF calculate chestunanu. Ela ante log 64 by 1 plus 63. For example, na corpus lo 64 documents unnayi anukunnam. For example, my corpus contains 64 documents, okay, divided by 1 plus 63 documents are using this word called the. Are you following or not? Almost all 63 documents are using this word called the. So then what happens? Log 64 divided by 1 plus 63. How much it is? Log 64 by 64. It is log 1, which leads to the 0. It leads to 0. So 0 I will substitute here. I will substitute 0 here. And then I will consider same for the messy. I will considering the same for the messy. Okay, here if I consider the whole corpus, I will consider the whole corpus. Okay, messy repeated only in the 3 documents. Okay, in the corpus of 64 documents, messy is going to be used by only 3 documents. అంటే 3 documents లోనే messy అనే వర్డ్ ఉందనుకుందాం. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, log 64 by 1 by log 64 by 1 plus 3 that is equal to 64 by 4, which is equal to log 16 that belongs to 4. So I have substituted 4 here, and this is TF vector and this is IDF vector. Now what I am doing is I am performing TF IDF operation like this. Okay, so 1000 into 0 I'll get 0, and 5 into 4 here I got 20 here. Now all of you understand how we are emphasizing the rare words. Yes, how we are increasing the weightage of the rare words rather than the general English words. Yes, Clear? Please acknowledge through chat. How we are increasing the impact of the rare words using this TF IDF rating. Is that clear? Yes. So this process is repeated. This process is repeated for each and every document. For each and every document, the corresponding TF IDFs will be calculated. As per those TF IDFs, then we will calculate the similarity of the documents. Are you following or not? For example, I'll take document 1. For example, my corpus contains n number of documents. For example, n number of documents are there in my corpus. Okay, I'll consider the first document. I'll construct term frequency vector. If I construct the term frequency vector, then I can identify the words which are there in that term frequency vector. I'll identify those words. I'll take each and every word, identify the existence of that word with reference to the entire corpus. Okay, with reference to the entire corpus. Again, I'll take the second word and I'll calculate the existence of that word with reference to the entire corpus. Okay, so for every term in the document, TF is constructed, IDF is also constructed. TF is constructed, also IDF is constructed. Then we will perform TF into IDF and we will get the TF IDF vector for that particular document 1. Okay, and the same thing will perform for the document 2, and the same thing will be performed for document 3. This process is repeated for all the n documents in the corpus. If you have n documents, we will have n number of TF IDF vectors. Then it is easy for me to calculate the similarities using the elementary product of TF IDF vector. Am I clear? Yes. Now let us see what do you mean by one nearest neighbor. Okay. So for that, what I'll do is, for example, I'll take a query article. Okay, first I'll take this query article. So I want to identify what are the similar articles for this query article. I want to obtain the similar articles with respect to this query article. So for that, what I'll do is, I'll search each and every article and I will calculate the similarity. Okay, so this is the query article. And this is one article in the corpus. One article in the corpus, and I'll take the first. For example, this is the query article, and assume that this is the first article in the corpus. Then I'll perform the similarity between the query article as well as the first article in the corpus, and I'll store that similarity in the variable called S. Okay, if that S is greater than the best similarity up to that value, అంటే ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఇనీషియల్ గా బెస్ట్ సిమిలారిటీ ఒక నెంబర్ అనుకుంటాం 1 అనుకుని స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. 1 అనుకుని స్టార్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ మనం రెండు డాక్యుమెంట్ అంటే క్వెరీ ఆర్టికల్ కి ఫస్ట్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఇన్ ద కార్పస్, ఫస్ట్ ఆర్టికల్ ఇన్ ద కార్పస్ కి సిమిలారిటీ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం. సిమిలారిటీ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసినప్పుడు మీకు సమ్ నెంబర్ వస్తుంది కదా, ఆ నెంబరు స్టార్టింగ్ బెస్ట్ సిమిలారిటీ కన్నా పెద్దదైతే అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్ని సిమిలర్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో స్టోర్ చేస్తాం. అంటే దీనికి ఇది సిమిలర్. బ్లూ కలర్ ఏంటంటే, బ్లూ కలర్ ఇస్ ద సిమిలర్ డాక్యుమెంట్ విచ్ ఎగ్జిబిట్స్ మోస్ట్ బెస్ట్ సిమిలారిటీ. ఓకే, తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తాం, లూప్ రిపీట్ చేస్తాం. విల్ పెర్ఫార్మ్ ద లూప్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తాం, సెకండ్ డాక్యుమెంట్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, సెకండ్ డాక్యుమెంట్ తీసుకొని సిమిలారిటీ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం. ఒకవేళ దానికి ఫస్ట్ డాక్యుమెంట్ కన్నా ఎక్కువ సిమిలారిటీ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు అది బెస్ట్ సిమిలర్ డాక్యుమెంట్ అవుతుంది. అలాగే మనం ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే n నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ డాక్యుమెంట్ కి చేస్తాం. బట్ ఫైనల్లీ యూ విల్ రిటర్న్ ఓన్లీ వన్ బెస్ట్ సిమిలర్ ఆర్టికల్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు దిస్ క్వెరీ ఆర్టికల్. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ విల్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ద వన్ నియరెస్ట్ నైబర్. ఓకే, అంటే మీరు అన్ని ఆర్టికల్స్ తో ఇటరేషన్ చేసిన, if you perform the iteration with all the articles, at the end you will return only one best similar article. That is what we will call it as a one nearest neighbor. Similar, what is the k nearest neighbor? Here I will return k similar articles. Instead of one similar article here, I'll return k similar article. You may ask, sir, how I can, you are saying that you will return only one best similar articles in one nearest neighbor, but how can I return k similar articles? What I should consider? ఈ కేసులో మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే n నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ కి సిమిలారిటీ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసి టాప్ 5 బెస్ట్ సిమిలర్ ఆర్టికల్స్ ని రిటర్న్ చేస్తాం. ఒకవేళ నేను k is equal to 5 అనుకుంటే, ఓకే, if I say that k is equal to 5, first of all, before that I'll calculate the similarities of all the n documents with the given query article. Okay, then I'll sort all these documents with reference to the similarity index. Okay, similarity index ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ఈ n ఆర్టికల్స్ ని సార్ట్ చేస్తాను. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను, టాప్ 5 బెస్ట్ ఆర్టికల్స్ ని రిటర్న్ చేసేస్తాను. ఎప్పుడు ఒకళ్ళు k is equal to నేను 5 అనుకుంటే, ఒకళ్ళు k is equal to 10 అనుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, then it will returns the best top 10 similar articles. So that is what we will call it as the k nearest neighbor. Now, how to perform the clustering of the document and what is the need of doing the clustering of the documents? Okay, generally, if you consider take our college library concept, okay, if in which case I may feel comfortable, okay, if all the branch books are at one place, or they are divided into different clusters, and each cluster is labeled as a department. So in the second scenario, I will be comfortable if these books are arranged in such a way that, okay, first CSE books are arranged, then IT books are arranged, and then EEE books are arranged, and then electrical EC books are arranged, so on and so forth. Then for IT student, it is easy for him to go directly to that IT cluster, and he can browse for the book. You can now browse for the book. In the similar manner, in Wikipedia, there are large collection of articles will be there. Okay, then it is easy for me if I divide all these articles into various clusters, okay, like sports, world news, entertainment, and science. Then it is easy for me to browse an article as per my interest. If I want to go to sports article directly, I can go to the sports cluster. For example, if I want to select any science article, I can easily go to the science cluster. When it is possible, if I identify the various clusters in that large corpus. Okay. So here, this is the what we already discussed in the k-means clustering. Okay, how the document vector, how the for a particular point, how the cluster has been assigned. Okay, so here we have 3 clusters. Okay, sports, entertainment, and news. So what I will do is, for example, in my vocabulary, I have, for example, I have a document vector here which contains only 2 words, word 1 and word 2. Then I will calculate then what I will do is I will perform this dot product. Okay, with this particular document vector. Okay, I'll perform the dot product with this vector. If I find the similarity, according to that, it will go to that particular cluster. Okay, here we have 3 clusters: red color, green color, and the blue color. And these 3 clusters will represent 3 different groups. Okay, so using this dot product, I'll identify this particular document belongs to which of these 3 clusters. This is what we have discussed in the k-means clustering. Am I right? So thank you. So any doubts so far? Any doubts? If you don't have any doubts, we'll start doing practical. Is it clear, or any doubts? Yeah, how that vocabulary vector will come. Very good. So what I will do is actually vocabulary means, see, vocabulary means, for example, you have a large corpus collection, large document corpus collection, for example. అంటే నీ దగ్గర ఒక 10 డాక్యుమెంట్లు ఉన్నాయనుకుందాం నీ కార్పస్లో. ఈ 10 డాక్యుమెంట్లో ఉన్న అన్ని వర్డ్స్ని నేను కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాను. ఈ 10 డాక్యుమెంట్స్లో ఉన్న ప్రతి వర్డ్ని నేను కన్సిడర్ చేసి ఏం చేస్తానంటే వాటన్నిటిని అందులో డూప్లికేట్స్ రిమూవ్ చేసేసి ఒక వొకాబులరీని క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, ఒక వొకాబులరీని క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, ఆ దాన్ని మనం వొకాబులరీ అంటాం లేదా బ్యాగ్ ఆఫ్ వర్డ్స్ అంటాం. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఒక డాక్యుమెంట్ తీసుకొని ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్స్లో ఉన్న వర్డ్స్ అన్ని ఎన్నిసార్లు రిపీట్ అయ్యాయో, ఓకే, ఈ వొకాబులరీని బేస్ చేసుకొని, అంటే ఈ వొకాబులరీలో అన్ని వర్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి కానీ ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్లో ఒక పర్టికులర్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో వొకాబులరీలో ఉన్న అన్ని వర్డ్స్ ఉండాలని రూల్ ఏం లేదు, అంతే కదా. Why? Because you will construct vocabulary with the reference of n documents. You will construct term frequency vector only with respect to a particular document. Okay, so here there is no guarantee that all the words in this vocabulary should exist in this particular document. Okay, according to that, this term frequency vector has been constructed. Like that, the term frequency vector is calculated for what do you call this similarity. This term frequency vector construction has been done for all the documents in the corpus in order to calculate the similarity between the documents. Okay, all of you please open your Jupyter notebook. All of you please open your Jupyter notebooks. Okay. Okay. Now let me open a new Python book. Let me rename this as similar document retrieval. Today's date 30. So here what I'll do is first import GraphLab package. Okay, for that what I'll do is import GraphLab. increase the font. So before that, let it execute. Before that, let me load some text data from Wikipedia pages on people. Okay, now I want to load some text data from directly Wikipedia pages. Okay, so each and every article will describe, each and every article will describe a particular person, and these are the articles directly downloaded from the Wikipedia. Okay, this is what they call real-time data set. Okay, I want to create articles is equal to graphlab dot sframe f people hyphen wiki people underscore wiki dot sframe. Okay, if you get like this, no problem. Second time you won't get any error, any warning here. Next, what I want to do is I want to explore the data. Okay. For that, what I will do is articles dot head. So this is what the articles. Okay, you can identify the URI where that article is available and who is that person, that is Digby Morrell, and some article text, some description about that Digby Morrell. Like that, we have different types of persons in the corpus. Okay, let us identify how many articles are there in our corpus. So 59,071 articles are there. 59,071 articles are there. Okay. For example, I want to take a particular person's profile. Okay, who is that person? Obama. I want to take the information about Obama. Before that, for understanding purpose, let me give a markdown that let's explore the text of a particular person. Who is that person? Obama. Barack Obama. Okay. Obama article can be obtained. Articles of articles whose name is equal to Barack Obama. So if you want to see Obama, Barack, spelling A-C-K. Okay. Now I'll get the text. Okay. Barack Obama. I have retrieved only the article of Barack Obama from the entire corpus. And if you want to see the complete description about Obama, then what you have to do is you have to print the Obama's text. So this column you have to print. Then we get the entire information about Obama here like this. So now my aim is to find the similar article with Obama. That is my aim. But before that, what are the things that you have to see? And I want to check one more person's profile, Clooney. Okay. Articles whose name is equal to George Clooney. George Clooney. Okay. So if you want to see the Clooney's text, okay, this is what the Clooney's text. Okay, now what I want to do is, so I want to find out the similar articles with Obama. Similar articles with Obama. So before the, for that, what I'll do some pre-processing for my Obama. What is the pre-processing is? Let's get the word count for Obama article. How to get that Obama off? I want to create a new column called word count for my only Obama article. Okay, Obama record. So how to calculate the word count? GraphLab dot text analytics dot count underscore words of Obama's text. అంటే ఒబామా టెక్స్ట్ లోంచి నేను వర్డ్ కౌంట్ వెక్టర్ని ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తున్నాను ఒబామాస్ టెక్స్ట్ లోంచి. ఇప్పుడు ఆ వర్డ్ కౌంట్ వెక్టర్ ఎలా ఉందో ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే ఒబామా వర్డ్ కౌంట్ ప్రింట్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. So this is the word count vector that you have obtained for your Obama article. Okay. It contains each and every word and its frequency. Raise repeated one time, district repeated one time, Romney repeated one time, is repeated 2 times, has repeated 4 times. Okay, this is what word count vector of your Obama article. Now what I want to do is I want to sort the word count of my Obama article, word count vector of my Obama article. So for that, what I'll do is I'll write the first comment. Let's sort the word count for Obama article. Okay. So how to do that? Obama underscore word underscore count underscore table is equal to Obama word count dot stack of word count that comma new underscore column underscore name. I got lost here, 1 minute. New column name is equal to, yeah. I'll show you. new column, new column name is equal to word count. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating new two new columns here. Okay, two new columns. First of all, I'm constructing a word count table. వర్డ్ కౌంట్ టేబుల్ అంటే ఏ వర్డ్ ఎన్నిసార్లు రిపీట్ అయింది అనేది చెప్తుంది అనమాట. సో ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏంటంటే రెండు కాలమ్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది. వర్డ్ అనే కాలం ఒకటి, కౌంట్ అనే కాలం ఒకటి. సో ఇన్ ద వర్డ్ ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ ద వర్డ్ ఇన్ ద కౌంట్ హౌ మెనీ టైమ్స్ దట్ వర్డ్ హ్యాస్ బిన్ రిపీటెడ్. లైక్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ గివ్స్ ది word count table. After that what I will do is, so before that let us see what it contains. What is Obama word count? Obama underscore word underscore count underscore table. So what it contains? It gives the each word and its frequency. Normalize is repeated once, sort repeated once, combat repeated once, like that all the words. Okay, so now what I want to display is, now I want to display in the descending order. I want to display in the descending order. For that what I will do is Obama word count table dot sort with reference to count, with reference to what? Count. Ascending is equal to false. Ascending false అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి? డిసెండింగ్ ట్రూ అనే కదా, అంటే డిసెండింగ్ ఆర్డర్లో ప్రింట్ చేయమని అర్థం. డిసెండింగ్ ఆర్డర్లో సార్ట్ చేసి ప్రింట్ చేయమని అర్థం. ఓకే, సో సో ఎక్కువ రిపీట్ అయింది అనమాట. అనేది ఎక్కువ రిపీట్ అయింది ఒబామా ఆర్టికల్లో. దాని తర్వాత ఇన్ ఎక్కువ రిపీట్ అయింది, దాని తర్వాత అండ్ ఎక్కువ రిపీట్ అయింది. కానీ ఒబామా అనేది మనకి కీవర్డ్ అంటే మెయిన్ వర్డ్ కదా, ఇవన్నీ ఏంటి? జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్. సో హియర్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ దట్ హియర్ ఆల్ దీస్ జనరల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ ఆర్ డామినేటింగ్ ద best description words. Why? Because here if you see Obama contains, this Obama word contains only 9 times, but where the general English word called the repeated 40 times, in repeated 30 times. So this is how the repeated words, the most frequent words are dominating the rare words. Here you can observe how the general English words are dominating the rare words. Okay, that's why you will go for TF IDF weighting. Okay, so let me give a description here. As in the above table, understand what I'm typing. By understanding, you also type in your notebook. As in the above table, the large count, okay, the large count of unnecessary words will wipe out ante will dominate, completely dominant, while wipe out the small count of important words. Okay, so for that what I will do is, the concept of TF IDF weighting came into the picture. So TF IDF calculated based on entire corpus, and let's calculate that. Okay, so how we can calculate TF IDF? Okay, let us see. So now what I'll do is, first of all, I'll take this word count column of your articles master data is equal to, and I want to perform word count vector for entire. I want to construct the word count vector for all the articles in my corpus. That's why I'm creating the word count, a new column in my articles data S frame. Okay, in my article S frame, I'm creating a new column called word count, and I'm constructing word count vector for each and every article in the corpus. So how it can be done means, word count is equal to graphlab.textanalytics count underscore words of articles of text. Now let us again into the articles head, then you can understand what you have done now. Okay, so along with the URI name text and a new column has been added. What is that? Word count column, and it contains the word count vector for each and every article. Word count vector for each and every article. Now what I want to do is, I want to calculate TF IDF, okay, which is equal to graphlab dot text analytics dot TF underscore IDF of people, so sorry, not people, sorry, articles of word count. I'm calculating TF-IDF for the entire articles. That means all the, I can say that each and every, what do you call, for each and every article, the TF-IDF is going to be calculated in our corpus. Okay, clear all of you? The TF-IDF has been calculated for each and every document, and the complete TF-IDF vector is going to be exists. Okay, let it calculate. Why? Because 59,071 articles, right? That's why it will take some time. It is calculating TF-IDF for 59,071 articles in your corpus. Definitely it will take time. Okay. After that, what I want to do is I want to assign this to a new column called TF-IDF, which is equal to TF-IDF. Now again, if you want, you can check the articles head, articles dot head. See what it is. Now what your corpus contains? URI, name of that particular person, and article of that particular person, word count vector of that article, and TF-IDF of also TF-IDF of that particular article. So TF-IDF has been calculated for each and every article in the corpus. You understand, all of you? So TF-IDF has been calculated for each and every article in the corpus. Okay, am I clear? So now what I will do is, I want to examine the TF-IDF of my Obama article. Okay, so let's examine the TF-IDF for Obama article. Okay, so for that, what I want to do is Obama is equal to articles of name is equal to Barack Obama. Now, if you want, you can see the Obama article here. Okay, this is the complete record of Obama article. Okay, URI, name, text, its word count, and its TF-IDF. So now what I will do is, I will sort this. Okay, I will sort this TF-IDF. Okay, for that what I will do is, based on TF-IDF, I want to sort this Obama TF Obama TF-IDF dot stack of TF-IDF comma new column underscore name is equal to word count. Okay, word, not word count, what word TF-IDF. Okay, TF-IDF dot sort. Based on TF-IDF, I want to sort it. Okay, where ascending is equal to false. So based on TF-IDF weighting, I have sorted the words in my Obama article. You understand? Now Obama got first place. If you calculate only term frequency for Obama article, who is in the first place? The. Am I right? Now you identify the difference. Why should we go for TF-IDF rather than word count? Am I clear or not? Please acknowledge through chat. Please acknowledge through chat. Am I clear? Yes. So here that is the what do you call priority, that why we go for TF-IDF rather than word count. Okay, TF-IDF always emphasizes the rare words that will best describes your article or a document. Based on this, now we are going to calculate the similarities. Okay, now let us see the different before going to calculate the similarities. Okay, now let us manually compute the distances between few people. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I'll take first Clinton. How many of you know Clinton? Clinton is one of the US president, former US presidents. Okay, when I'm in childhood, he is the US president. So I want to take Bill Clinton's profile. Okay, in Clinton I'll have only Clinton profile. Next I'll take Beckham. How many of you know who is Beckham? Who is Beckham? How many of you know? I think some of you people already know who is Beckham, right? Actually his full name is what? David Beckham. Full name is what? David Beckham. He's a very good soccer player. Okay. Now what I want to do is whether Obama is closer to Clinton or Beckham. Okay. For that I want to create a markdown. Is Obama is closer to Clinton or Beckham. For that what we have to do is we have to measure the cosine distance between the Obama Clinton and also Obama and Beckham. Now measure the distance between cosine distance, that too cosine distances cosine of Obama TF IDF of 0 comma Clinton TF IDF of 0. So how much is the distance? 83, 0.8339, so on and so forth. This is the distance between Clinton and who? Obama. Now let us measure the distance between Obama and Beckham also. Obama TF IDF of 0 comma Beckham of TF IDF of 0. How much? 97%. 0.97. So here when compared to here what we have 0.833 and here what we got 0.97. So which is the small number here? 0.83. So by the conclusion I can say that Obama is more closer to Clinton when compared to Beckham. ఎందుకంటే Obama ki Clinton ki మధ్య distance తక్కువ ఉంది. The distance between Obama and Clinton is less when compared to Obama and Beckham. As the distance is less between Obama and Clinton, then I can say that Obama is more closer to Clinton than Beckham. Okay, let me make a conclusion that by observing above distances, Obama is closer to Clinton rather than Beckham. Why? Because the distance between Clinton and Obama is less when compared to Clinton and Beckham. Okay. Now let us identify all. This is what one nearest neighbor. Let me clear about this. I am calculating only one nearest neighbor and it is saying whether Beckham is nearer to Obama or Clinton is nearer to Obama. Now what I want to do is I want to calculate all the nearest neighbors now, nearest persons to the Obama. Okay. So now what I want to do is let us build a model that identifies all nearest persons to Obama, or I can say that all nearest, or I can say that as per the previous terminology, I can say that closest persons to Obama. Okay. So for that what I will do is I will build a KNN model. Okay, that is GraphLab dot nearest neighbor classifier. Sorry, nearest not classifier, nearest neighbors, that's it, not classifier. Nearest neighbors dot create of articles and which features I want to take is I want to calculate based on only TF-IDF, and I want to give label name as name. Okay. So we are building the model, so it will take some time. Okay. Then I can identify who is closest to Obama. Okay. So this model is applicable to any person, not only Obama. This model is applicable to any person. For example, let us observe this for Obama. Okay. For that, what I'll do is KNN model dot query of Obama. That means I want to identify all the closest persons to Obama. Who are the closest persons to Obama? Okay, see the result. For Barack Obama distance is 0.00. Okay, then Joe Biden is the nearest. That's why he ranked 2. Every person himself will be ranked as 1. The next rank is 2. Joe Lieberman is rank 3, the second nearest, and Kelly Oite is rank 4, and Bill Clinton is rank 5. The rank is assigned based on the increasing order of the distance. Okay, rank 2 and chinna rank ante, for example, rank 2 will have less distance. Rank 3 will have some more distance when compared to rank 2, and rank 4 will have some more distance when compared to rank 3, so on and so forth. Okay. So now let us take for the another person. I want to take Swift. I want to take the article of Taylor Swift. Can anybody please mute your mic? I'm getting air noise. Yeah, thank you. I want to retrieve a Taylor Swift article, and I want to measure the closest persons to the Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift means she's a popular American singer. Okay, Taylor Swift is a popular American singer. So it displays all nearest people to the Taylor Swift. Okay, Carrie Underwood's rank 2, Elika Case rank 3, like that. Okay, let us see the last example. Okay, who? Angelina Jolie. I think all of you know her. Am I right? Angelina Jolie, whose name is equal to Angelina Jolie. Okay. Now I want to ask who are the closest persons to my, sorry, not my, closest persons to Angelina Jolie. Okay, so for Angelina Jolie, who are the closest? Brad Pitt, obviously. Brad Pitt is, I think, he's her husband, I think. Angelina Jolie's husband, I think. Juliana Mori, Billy Bob Thornton, and these first 5 close person. These are the top 4 closest person to Angelina Jolie. Am I clear? Now I think all of you understood what do you mean by similar document retrieval, right? The word which is having high TF-IDF has more information. Very good. Very good. More information with respect to the document as well as with respect to the whole corpus. Yes. So am I clear? Is it clear? All of you? Document retrieval. Similar document retrieval, is this concept is clear? Any doubts? Please ask me, no problem. The thing is, first we have to start with the word count. Okay, and then we have to see what are the disadvantages with word count and how to emphasize the rare words than common words, and then what is TF-IDF weighting, and then how we are measuring the similarities using TF-IDF weighting. If you know all these 5 points, then you can easily understand the similar document retrieval. Okay, so the first question is, what is word count? Okay, how it will be done? Okay, how it will be done? What are the disadvantages with the word count vectors? How common words dominate the rare words which best describes the document. Okay, what is TF-IDF? How we emphasize the rare words. Okay, and how the the PPT cannot be shared. If you want, you can go through the video. And how similarity is calculated using TF-IDF. These are the questions that you have to understand. If you understand these questions, you definitely understand what you mean by document retrieval, similar document retrieval. Am I clear? Yes. Any doubts? If you do, if you better you answer all those questions, okay, manually, okay, for your understanding purpose, okay, for your understanding purpose, all of you answer all those questions, then you can easily identify what are the things that we have discussed and how they can be achieved. Shall I wind up the session? Yes. Okay. Thank you. No, codes will not be sent. Everything will be shared through the videos only. Please don't ask the codes and PPTs. Everything will be shared through videos.